Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlickers, shields, dead slaves, sirs, peasants, vassals, minions, meat sacks. I'm East Lydia, welcome. And so this new book has come out, this expose of the machinations going on in the Democratic Party during the Biden administration. And so I've already done a video on the fact that it's been revealed that the Democratic Party's known all along, all 4 years of the Biden administration, that there was something wrong. And so they spent 4 years covering for him and manipulating every situation so that it wouldn't be exposed how bad Biden was. And of course, anybody that was paying attention could tell that there's something wrong with Biden going all the way back the last 4 years. And I also did a video on the fact that one of the big questions of our time, I think a very important question to ask, both in the short term and also in the historical sense, was who was running the government these last 4 years. We had Biden not only being kept out of the limelight, but we also had Biden being on vacation nearly a third of his presidency. And then we have the auto pen scandal coming out. So somebody was signing everything for him. Somebody else was running the government because Biden wasn't capable of it. And as I've pointed out, a lot of these decisions that were made don't seem to reflect what Biden's policies actually were. And we also have the incident, of course, of Mike Rogers confronting Biden about something that where Biden couldn't even remember that he'd ever signed it, and he denied it vehemently. So that's a really important question. Who was running the government the last 4 years? And now we have this book coming out, this expose, and it makes that question even more crucial, because we're finding out that there was secret meetings being held discussing the fact that Biden was not capable, discussing when he should withdraw, and not if, but when. And they were discussing it by 2023. It had gotten so bad that they were discussing not only the idea that he should be replaced or step down and what they're going to do in the 2024 election, but also contingency plans for whether he might die in office. And I know I speculated that he might die in office. He looked terrible, and he was obviously holding on by a thread. He probably doesn't have that much more to go right now, but the fact that Kamala's team was writing up plans for her taking power should Biden die in office, and then the fact that Biden aides warned their donors that this was a huge problem. So a lot of these big donors knew what was going on, and it wasn't revealed either. So we have the entire Democratic Party, the entire Democratic administration, and all their big donors that knew something was wrong with Biden all along, and they kept it a secret. And I know this isn't completely unprecedented. Of course, we had President Wilson in office who had serious health problems, and at some point, probably Colonel House, the mysterious figure in the Wilson administration back during World War I. So at least we have an answer there of who was probably running the government. And then we also had, of course, the government covering for Roosevelt after he had a stroke and he was in a wheelchair, and they kept him out of the public limelight and had him do his radio shows, and kept the fact, in that case, it was, of course, it was more about people being demoralized or concerned should they see the president in a wheelchair. But this is much more egregious, and I think it's it shows incredible corruption. It shows the fact that people shouldn't have faith in our government because they're capable of doing such things. And then we also have the fact that they warned that having Kamala be the candidate was a huge mistake. And even though Barack Obama was busy on the phones trying to find some alternative or having a convention and picking a candidate, because nobody had any faith that Kamala Harris could be the candidate. But for all appearances, they scrambled and put together a campaign and had Kamala's run anyway, knowing she would probably lose, and if she won, she would be a terrible candidate and a terrible president. And they knew that all along as well. So for me, this is one of the biggest scandals of our time, and the fact that it doesn't have that much legs in the media is terrible. It shouldn't be surprising, of course, because they spent 4 years defending Biden, even though everyone knew he was impaired and wasn't capable of running this country or anything else for that matter, and the media was complicit. But the fact that they were so enthusiastic and gave such ridiculous defenses for Biden right up to the very end, up to the so-called debate when it became undeniable. But the fact that a year before that last election, they were scrambling to hold their shit together is very disturbing. And as I pointed out, this is a huge scandal. And the only reason it isn't in the news every day talking about it and asking questions about who ran the government is because, of course, liberal media is part of the DNC, so they're on board with the whole program of defending Biden and creating this false and ridiculous narrative and maintaining some sort of stability. But it goes back to the same question. Now that we have even more evidence of how bad things were, who was running the government the last 4 years? I'd really like to know. That would be a huge reveal and would tell us a lot about presidencies in general. If an entire government like the United States can continue to do their domestic and foreign policies with no leadership, then a lot of other people had to be involved with running this government, and it wasn't President Biden. I'm a useful idiot, don't you be one too?